Well, a very good morning. Welcome to another Fishing Towel Films episode, and I've gone from Britford back down to my local club stretch. Got a long walk and I've got a bit of work to do before I can start fishing. I'll see you down by the bankside. Hopefully I'll have enough energy to do some fishing. I'll see you soon. Oh, well, that was hard work. Things us fishermen go through just to do a bit of fishing. But you can see it's another misty day, and I've walked right the way through two lots of fields, down the edge of course. Don't want the farmer being upset because anglers are trampling all over his crops. But it's hard work, and I've created or reborn again a swim that I like to fish, and you can see the pathway down, and it's a bit tight, as you can see my secateurs there, and this is my swim. It's a nice deep area, like a big bowl, but it's very deep. From memory it's around about 12 foot. Could be more. I'm sure the peg used to be more over that way, but I went to walk down there, my foot went straight through, so whether the bank has given way there, I don't know. But this is I'm going to fish. As you can see, there's hardly any flow because it's so deep. The flow almost stops, and we've had no rain for a while, so otherwise sometimes it bowls up. You get nice big eddies, but I'm going to fish this swim. I've had some good roach out of here, I've had bream out of here. Looks breamy, doesn't it? And also I've had chub, so I might have to get rid of some of this because it's probably hindered me casting. But yeah, let's set the gear up and let's get fishing. Now I'm travelling really light today because I had to bring the old secateurs. I thought, well, I'm not going to, plus all the filming stuff that I bring, I'll have to really try and lighten my load. So I'm using my Corum little hard case here. Got some scales in there in case I get that bonus fish. Some hooks, some silicone float rubber, my catapult, my weights, plummet, pair of scissors, some small shots, and disgorgers. So that's really all I need for a day's float fishing. There's the selection of floats. I'm going to be probably using a 4 or 5 BB float. It's a similar float to what I was using down on Britford. Bait wise, got some slices of bread because I caught some nice roach on bread here on the Upper Medway. Some liquidised bread for feed. Got some nice casters there. My maggots are looking a bit worse for wear. I put some extra sawdust in there so they don't sweat up. And got white, and I've got some red maggot. as well. I've also bought a tub of tears in case I want to give that a try as well. Got me unhooking that in place, my rag, and that's where the action's going to be. Looks absolutely lovely. I'm sure the sun's going to stick its head out, but the forecast is for quite a cloudy day, so hopefully, fingers crossed, that'll be the case. I'm out the middle of nowhere, I really am. The nearest swim that way is in the next field, and you can't see, but amongst, well, over the other side of all that vegetation there, I don't think there's even a swim to fish. It's raw country on this local club section of mine on the Upper Medway. I cannot wait, and hopefully some nice big roach will be waiting for me. I reckon this swim has not been fished for at least 2 seasons. Yeah, that's what I reckon. Let's give it a go. Well, I'm using my Drennan Floatmaster 15-foot rod today because it's so deep. And just as well I brought it today because I've just plumbed it because there's no float. And I'm just off the bottom. You can just see the float under the water. And I reckon it's about 13 foot deep. So I've counted 13 eyes up the rod as a bit of a marker, just in case, rather than keep plumbing all the time. So I can reset the float if I get snapped up or have to change the hook. I can know roughly how deep I need to set up again. But yeah, it's very deep down there. No flow, hardly any flow at all. And it should be good. Looking forward to it. Well, I've just had my first fish, a nice start to the day. A little chublet. It's my double red maggot. So happy about that. And if they get bigger, if they're going to start off that small, get bigger, then I'm in for a brilliant day. Let's pop him back and get back out there. What a good start. Well, I'm managing to catch a few nice chublets. A nice bend in the rod, especially when you're hooking them at 13 foot deep. And with that one, because there's no flow, I started mimicking a flow, just dragging the float along a little bit, stopped, and then wallop, it took it. So it's a tactic I used to use quite a lot when I used to pole fish in the matches on slow moving rivers. Just if they never move, just move it along to try and entice a bite. Fantastic. Without doubt, one of my favourite species to catch is the roach, and I've just had my first roach of the session, and got up a nice little fight. Lovely fish. I do like the river roach, just something special about them. Orange eyes, and wonderful fish. I've had them bigger out of this swim, so hopefully I'll find a few, and I may go over to a piece of bread a bit later, because that can sort out some of the better fish. That's great, catching some nice fish already, which is good. Maybe my river season is starting today. Let's hope so. Well, I've been fishing for about 40 minutes now, and this morning's like this are the reasons why I come fishing. It's well, I get up early in the morning. I was up about 4:15 this morning. I wanted to get here just after first light because I know I had a bit of a long walk to do, a bit of preparing the swim as well, and it's still nice and misty. If it could stay like this for all day long, it'd be like fishing heaven, it really would. I've had gudgeon, I've had some couple of nice roach, some nice chublets, I've even had a dace and a bleak, 5 different species, and what more could you ask for? I've even had some bubbles coming up as well, so there's fish feeding. You never know, it could be bream, because I've had bream over 5.5 pound out of this swim in the past, and it does look a breamy swim. I must admit, I'm thinking about, oh, got another fish there. Talking of gudgeon as I was, there we go, another little tiny gudgeon there. Nice the old double red maggot. But I will be switching over to a piece of bread flake, because in fact that's what I was catching the bream on, and sort of decent roach as well. So I will switch over to bread flake and give that a whack. I'm sure that will sort out some much better fish. Loving it, absolutely loving this. That's what fishing's all about for me. And I'm going to plan to come and fish this swim with big baits on the feeder, because I've just got a feeling that it's going to produce some big fish, and at least I've got today to sort of suss it out on the float, on the stick float. Brilliant, so far so good. Now early in the week, on Monday, I went off down to fish the Hampshire Avon at Britford, and got up at 3:15 in the morning and made my way down to Wiltshire, and I was pleasantly surprised to see the river was in fine fettle. It looked really nice, and I gave it a go, and here's some footage of that day. Well, a very good morning. Welcome to another Fishing Tale Films, and this morning I'm down on the lovely Hampshire Avon at Britford. I'm going to be doing a bit of stick float, big stick float fishing this morning. Nice flow. It's always clear. There's a tiny little bit of colour. It's not gin clear. And it's been quite an eventful morning. I've been fishing for about 20-25 minutes. First fish was a minnow, which is pretty much standard. And I was starting off on maggots. Then I had a small roach. And then I've been played with a pike who's taken another roach, and I nearly netted it when he took a dace. It was quite a decent dace as well, about 8 inches long, and he got his teeth in that and let go just as I was about to net it. The pike was about 8 pounds odd, something like that. But hopefully he won't pester me too much, because I'm after the roach today, dace, and hopefully some chub as well. So let's get fishing, let's get feeding, and run that stick float through the swim. What a drizzly morning it is, but who cares, I'm fishing. Well, I let the stick float run a bit further down this swim, and the float actually lifted out of the water, so I struck into it, rod bent round, a few thumps, and a few seconds later this skimmer bream made its way into my landing net. So I wasn't expecting any skimmer bream today, and I must admit I think it's probably the first skimmer I've ever had at Britford. So a nice start, nice to have a little bend in the rod, apart from that pike which is still pestering me. Let's slip this back and see what else we can catch. A decent start anyway. is all I seem to be catching now, is the little minnows. Big minnows, but not exactly what I'm after. After the pike grabbed that last dace, the swim was just died apart from just minnows. So and that was about an hour and a half ago. So keep feeding, trying to see if I can get the dace and roach. Bring them in, draw them into the swim. It just seems to be minnows all the time now. Well, after about an hour and a half of catching minnows, finally hooked into another decent fish, slam, pike again. So that's me done with this swim. I'm now going to make my way back up the river towards the bridge. There's a couple of swims that I want to try out. I think I'm just wasting my time here. As soon as I'm tempting the better fish on, the pike are just slamming into them. I think that was a different looking pike, that one. So there's obviously a shoal of pike following a shoal of roach and dace. Not for me, so I'm going to move further down. I think I've had enough minnows, probably about 40 or 50 of them. Yeah. Let's try further down. Well, as you can see, it was a bit of a frustrating trip down to the Hampshire Avon, and I was just getting piked out. It was unbelievable. So many pike around, and every time I hooked I was hooking dace, sort of about that size, real nice fish, and they were just getting slammed by the pike. They seemed to be waiting for the better fish. So I thought, well, all I'm doing is feeding the pike, and I don't really like doing that. Don't like losing good fish to the pike, and so I cut short the day, made my way back, set off back midday, and got stuck on the M25 as you normally do, and that put an extra hour on my journey. So it was just under 2 hours to get there, and just over 3 hours to get back. But this is what happens. Sometimes you have to try, and I'll be back to Britford sometime soon. I'll keep in contact with fishery keeper Stuart Wilson, who is so helpful, and he'll let me know when when the pike have calmed down a bit. It was nice to get back on the river, I must admit. It looks lovely down there, doesn't it? And like I say, I'll be back down there very soon. It's so peaceful here. All I can hear is plane in the distance, sheep in the distance as well, chatting around to each other. It's so quiet, so peaceful. Sometimes the silence is deafening, as they say. You're watching a kingfisher working the river up and down. It goes so fast. Just this blue flash. Amazing. Just had a bite then. Yeah, what is it? Only a small one. Oh, tiny little gudgeon. I've had about 4 or 5 gudgeon this morning. It's probably the smallest one out of the lot. I think it's time to switch bait and give it a piece of bread. As you can see, this sort of roughly the size of pieces of bread that I like to use in this swim when I'm fishing the river. Size 14 hook, nice big piece of flake, and like I say, I've had some good fish fishing the old breadflake. Let's find out if it's going to work today. I do hope so. Nice. Nicely into position. Got a few more casters out. If I go just past halfway, there is a tiny bit of flow. Bit of undertow that goes along. Just had a little dip there on the bread flake there. Just had my first bite indication. And again. Because there's no flow, every now and then I'll just move the float so it moves the bait to see if it can entice a bite. And I've just moved it there, I've got a little dim on the float. And again, might just be a small fish pecking away at the bread flake. Yeah, oh, yeah. And a gudgeon on bread flake. Probably nibbled it down to a small size so it could stuff the rest of it in its mouth. What have we got here? Looks like a roach. It is. It's a welcome sight. So I'll just cast a bit further over to the far bank. Slightly bit more flow. Just picked up this nice roach, so maybe they've just backed off the feed a bit into the flow. Let's get back out there. Just caught another species for today. Nice tiny little perch there, and caught that on double red maggot, close in to the margins down to the left, so maybe there's a few perch down there. Well, I thought after catching that perch down the edge, I'll persevere with it a bit, just down the side there. That's where roughly where my float is now, is where I had that perch. So I did see some perch earlier on chasing some fry about, so there's obviously been perch in the area, in the swim. Shame I've got no worms with me, but I thought I'd try and scale right down on bait, on tackle, because of the long walk today. Oh. Took me bait down there. Sometimes the fish do sneak in close to the swim, but you're fishing, you're feeding out in the middle, but they can come right in close. Be a perfect swim to fish the pole. Nice and deep. Yeah, really control that float, especially down the middle of the river, that 13 foot of water. Since that sun has now burnt the mist off, still a bit of cloud cover, so not too bad. It does feel a lot warmer now than what it was first thing this morning. I think it was about 15 degrees on the way down, on the drive down. I imagine I think it's set for about 23 today. It's warm enough for a day's river fishing. Try 2 red maggots. Goes. Oh. Oh dear, I just bumped a good fish. Damn. Oh. I wonder what that was. Well, after bumping that fish, I've just gone straight back out and I'm now hooked into something half decent. Looks like skimmer bream. They do scrap, I tell you. Don't come off. Yes, it is. So that obviously was a fish that I bumped off. So I've got a few skimmers right under my feet by the looks of it. There he comes. Lovely. Ooh. It's lifted the spirits a bit. Let's have a look at it. Well, that's a bit more like it. After bumping that fish off there, went straight back out, and my float never even settled. Something intercepted it, and I lifted up into this beauty. So maybe there's a few bream and skimmers down there now. Excellent. Let's pop him back. Well, that skimmer bream there was followed by a dace, so it's a right old mixture down there at the minute. There's a few fish close in, even better. I'm keeping the feed going in, trickling it over the top of my float, feeding some casters, a few maggots, and starting to pick up some nice fish. Still overcast, cloudy, sun every now and then sticks its head out. I must say, really enjoying this. This is great fun. Bubbles coming up. There's a few fish feeding down there. Quite exciting now. We're not the biggest of perch, but what a fine specimen all the same. Look at that. He's angry. He's got his fins up. Right, let's pop you back. Well, what have we have here? Oh, that's a nice dace. Look at that. Lovely. Double white maggot. Close into the margins. Brilliant. Get the right old variety today. Fantastic. Well, I have to admit, I really enjoyed this morning. Catching. What have I had? I've had perch, I've had roach, I've had dace, I've had chublets, gudgeon, loads and loads of gudgeon, and yeah, about five, 6 species. So that's good going, you know. That skimmer bream as well. That was another one, and I bumped a good fish. I think it was a bream, to be honest. Because that skimmer followed not long after it, so yeah, I reckon it was a bream. Just the way the bite went, just it was different. Just had a good bite there, and it bumped it, and it felt a real good fish. My guess, it was a bream. But yeah, it's been fantastic, and hopefully that you've enjoyed this video. And if you have, perhaps give it a thumbs up, because that mean an awful lot if you do. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to the channel and see if I can reach my target of 2,000 subscribers by by the end of this year. It's creeping up and up, and many thanks to all those that have just recently subscribed. And you know, I think it's 1,600 and something when I last looked, so it's really good. Really pleased about that, and just under 400 to go now. So if you know anyone that will like the Fishing Tale Films video, please pass it on to them. Please share it with them, and yeah, that'd be great. And lots more fishing videos to come, especially in the winter time. The autumn and winter is when I really like to get out and do my fishing, a bit of perch fishing, a bit of winter chubbing and roach. Do love catching me roach fishing. And yeah, so plenty more to come on the YouTube channel, so keep watching, and thanks very much for your support.